Welcome back to the CowPod. Today I'm going to be talking about who haunts this house. CowPod. Hey everybody, it's Olivia. I'm back with the CowPods. I know it's been a while, but today I'm excited to talk about who haunts this house and more specifically how past ignorance of climate change has affected Utah's Wasatch Front. I am from Utah, so I have personal experience with climate change in Utah, and it has been something that's affected myself and my family a lot in the past. Even living in Seattle for the past 2 months, I've noticed the effects of climate change as it is currently November 16th, and it's going to be 51 degrees today and sunny, which is super strange for Seattle, as I've heard, because I still don't believe that it really rains here. First, I'm going to discuss a little bit about climate change for anyone that is not totally familiar with it. So climate change is another word for global warming, and global warming is a gradual increase in temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, and it's usually attributed to the greenhouse effect, which is when heat from the sun comes to the Earth, and then some of that heat that tries to circle back into the atmosphere is trapped by the layer of greenhouse gases that's created by carbon dioxide that's let into the air by different factories. You see the images of like factories emitting off smoke, which is carbon dioxide, which is really bad for the air. The more that technologies continue and things continue to be made, the more carbon dioxide is put into the air. This includes transportation, as cars continue moving. Like, there can be a lot of different reasons why carbon dioxide is emitted into the air, but this all leads to the greenhouse effect, which is causing a lot of global warming and climate change. Some other causes of carbon dioxide in the air include oil refineries, garbage incarceration, which is why people have been trying to slow down the amount of garbage that we are creating, and through like composting, through creating cleanups and making sure that the garbage doesn't get put into the ocean. Basically, the existence of humanity has caused climate change, and it's our job to solve this for our world before it becomes too late. In terms of who haunts this house, I believe that past ignorance of climate change is what haunts the present effects of it today, which is what has made it so bad and so detrimental to our world. Because everyone knows that climate change is real and that global warming is something that we have to be worried about, but people don't completely understand what's really happening to the planet and how much danger we are creating for ourselves. Some people don't believe that climate change is imperative, and this will haunt us until the day that these people believe that it's real. Even though global warming has recently begun to accelerate, the history of our world has really led to this outcome. But we can change it. We can't. And the options for current actions that we can take are becoming slimmer the longer we wait to take action. So going back to like the idea of ignoring climate change, I'm really passionate that just because people know about climate change doesn't mean that anything's going to change, because one person will sit there thinking, oh, our world's heating up, but I'm not going to do anything because they're not doing anything. And if we all come together to make a change, it can really destroy this haunting that's creating so much danger for our world. So, as I'm from Utah, I have a lot of personal experience with climate change, and not saying that climate change is only real in Utah, but it's just a really good example for how one small place is so affected. So first, when it comes to skiing, I'm an avid skier. I love skiing. And I remember last year sitting at the high school lunch table, my friends and I would discuss the fact that our grandchildren probably won't have the same skiing experience that we did because our snow is in danger. The winter minimum daily temperatures in Utah could warm 6 degrees in the next few years, which makes the ski resorts worried about shortened seasons, shifting seasons, and less snow cover. And mountain communities in Utah are really based around snow, which brings in a lot of income for Salt Lake City and the Wasatch Front. So as the amount of precipitation declines, the seasons are going to become shorter for skiing, and this decreases the amount of money that Utah earns. Snowmaking has been resorted to as an important technological adaptation, But this also creates global warming because the chemical additives that are put into the water to create snow actually put more carbon dioxide into the air, which is going against everything that we need to solve climate change. The future of Utah's ski industry is uncertain, and that scares me because I really want my grandkids and my kids to be able to ski the ways that I did, because it's such an incredible experience, especially in Utah. Another big issue in Utah is the drought conditions. Drought right now is extremely bad. Before I moved to Seattle in Utah, I remember my friends would criticize each other for having their sprinklers running at certain times of the day, and it's pretty much law now to have your sprinklers run during the night because it's less detrimental to global warming. Utah is really running out of the water because without the snow that produces the water that Utahns drink, there's very little option to get this water, which also has been causing a lot of wildfires in Utah, which have been really scary for me and my friends as we've gone camping up in the mountains and we hear fires that were really close by. And the smoke from these fires also creates an expedited amount of carbon dioxide in the air, which creates a level of haze that you can see from the mountains when you're skiing. It's just really dangerous for the air of the Utah community. Everyone knows the Great Salt Lake. It's like the saltiest body of water in the world. And it's the only big body of water in Utah. But due to global warming, it's drying up, much like many other lakes in Utah. Due to the arsenic that's on the bottom of the Great Salt Lake that is being lifted up by the winds, Utahns could be at risk of death. This is a very serious issue, and it's really scary for my friends and family that still live there. As the lake is decreasing in size, the arsenic is left on the bottom and it's left out and exposed for wind to pick it up and blow it to the Wasatch Front, into Salt Lake Valley, areas around that as well. Not only is this riskful for life of humans, it's a risk for birds, insects, and shrimp that live there. It's affecting the web of life that lake supports. And this is just the Great Salt Lake. Think of all the other lakes that are at risk due to global warming. So as I'm from Utah, I am really worried about its future, but even more so I'm worried about the future of the world. Al Gore, who was President Bush's vice president, came to the country in fear of global warming during his vice presidency, and he made people aware that we need to make a change. And now he continues to report that he wishes that he wasn't proven correctly, but he knows that people didn't make good enough efforts when he notified them of this issue. And now it's getting later and later and more dangerous. He knows that if things were addressed when he came out with big statements, it would have been easier to reverse the effects. But now we have to do what we can to stop it before it's too late. The neglection of the factors of climate change in the past are really what haunts the present. That is what haunts this house. There's no one to blame, but now people have to go to greater lengths to try to resolve these poorly made decisions that have affected our environment. Efforts are being made to quickly reduce the effects of climate change, but everybody has to come together and go against the ignorance, because if we don't, our world could be in complete danger. Things take longer to happen than you think they will, but then they happen much faster than you thought they could. Thank you for listening to my rant on climate change. I'm very passionate about this, and I'm very passionate about climate change in Utah and keeping my family and my friends safe. And I really just think if people all came together and tried to go against climate change, we could actually make a really big difference. So thank you for listening to this special episode of CowPods. I hope to see you guys in the next episode. And yeah, thank you for listening. Bye.